Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right, let's just jump right into it. My name is Alan and I'll be your Sergeant at Arms for tonight, who is also going to be the Zoom master for tonight. So if you have the spotlight on you, that's my doing. Next, Brunei Speakers Club is part of the international, sorry, my mind is just away at the moment. Okay, let's start again. Toastmaster is an international nonprofit organization founded by Ralph Smedley in 1924. He believes that we should work on our communication and leadership skills, and that's why and I guess most of us are here tonight. There is a total of 4 Toastmasters clubs in Brunei. The first being UBD Toastmasters Club, held every Monday, 7:30 p.m. Brunei Speakers Club, every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Brunei Authors Club, every Wednesday, 7:30. And Brunei Advanced Speakers Club, held every first Friday of the month. Next, let us all together recite the mission of the Toastmaster, which is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Thank you, everyone. Right. When you join Toastmasters, you'll be subjected into our own educational system called Pathways, which is shown in the screen. Now, each pathways will cater to your individual needs. If you need to know more, you may contact our president, Shahno Nizam. Yes, there are a few guidelines to the online meetings, which I will post in the chat for everyone's benefit. The first is being polite and respectful towards each other. When you are being called for taboo topics, we should steer away from talking about sex, politics, and religion. For the benefit of everyone, please keep your mic on mute. Only unmute when you are called upon or when it's your turn to speak. And for support, let's give everyone jazz hands instead of claps because we can't hear you anyway. So jazz hands, everyone, just to show our faith. Yay! All right. Now, today, we seem to have a few guests here, or there's only one labeled guest. Oh, but he's not really a guest, but might as well. Can I please invite Jimmy to introduce yourself and what brings you here tonight?
Hi, actually I visited your club before. I'm sorry, I got too busy with work. So I dropped off for a while. Yeah, I joined this club because it's interesting. I like the previous sessions. So yeah, can't wait to enjoy this session.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Next, we also have Louis Chu. Louis Chu, could you please introduce yourself and the reason why you're here?
Sure. I'm Louis Chiu. I'm the current president for Cathedral Toastmaster Club in Teluk in Area E1. I'm here for my first BSC meeting with Shano as the president. So Shano and I was in the same park. We was VP last term and become president this term. So just want to see how he's doing. All right, back to you.
Thank you so much. Wow, supporting each other, true and true. Thank you for that. With that, I will pass the floor to our Toastmaster of the evening, which is Shano Nizam. Yay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, everyone. Please give a warm jazz hands to our Zoom master, Adnan Mushid, for that fantastic introduction. Now, as the Toastmaster of the evening, my responsibility is to facilitate and host tonight's meeting. And the cliche says, I wouldn't be able to do all of this all by myself without the help and support of my fellow Toastmasters member. So let me share my screen to show you who are the role players. So for the first role player is we have the Zoom master already, Adlan Murshid. He will be the one who's working behind the scene to ensure everything technically working. Can we give a warm round of applause to Adlan Murshid for his effort to keep this meeting technically feasible throughout tonight's meeting. And next, for my next role player, he will be the table topic master. Can we have Toastmaster Iqbal Omar to introduce himself?
Iqbal, you're on mute.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Okay, that's good. Thank you, everyone. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'll be hosting the table topic session tonight. I will be picking random participants from the audience. Each speaker will be given 1 to 2 minutes to provide impromptu speech. I think this is the right platform for us to practice giving speech off the cuff. So each speaker later will be given 1 to 2 minutes for them to discuss the topic given. With that, all the best to speakers, and back to you, and see you later.
Thank you for your introduction, Iqbal. It's like watching a mysterious person introducing his role, the man in the dark. I feel like I'm watching a reality show right now, guessing who is the winner. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Now, can we have a sidekick, the one who will be evaluating the table topic speaker? Shall we invite the table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Eng Sung?
Good evening, fellow. Sorry, meeting. Yeah, sorry. Hi. See what meeting? Sorry. Okay, sorry, guys. Okay, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Song, and today I'll be your table topics evaluator. As an evaluator, I'll be giving feedback to all speakers who are attempting the table topics, and when it comes to my evaluation, I'll be focusing on one thing only, and that is the structure. So when I talk about structure, when a speech has a good structure, it means that it flows well. I can follow easily, and also it has a clear message. So that's all from me. Back to you, Shannon.
Thank you very much for your role player introduction. And so my tip for you is to let your family know that you are in meeting every Tuesday, so no one will bother you. I've been bothered before by my family, so now they already know that every Tuesday evening I'm busy with Toastmaster. Okay, since tonight we're going to have the extra general meeting, we're not going to have our grammarian and accountant. We're just going to have the other role player. Next, for the next role player is our timer and tip. Can we have Toastmaster Charles to introduce his role?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome, guests, fellow Toastmasters. As timer, I'll be timing the table topics, as well as the prepared speeches, and I'll also be timing all evaluations. Just in terms of times for table topics, I'll be using a virtual background. You have to speak for 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll give you the green light to say that you've made the minimum time. At 1 minute 30, you will have the yellow or amber light. And at 2 minutes, I will have the red light. I will also be performing a magic, but after 2 minutes 30, I'll reappear and the TME for the evening will take control. So that basically means your time is up for the table topics because we don't have the bell. For prepared speeches, Adib, you're the only one doing prepared speeches tonight. Good luck for your second speech. Just so you know, at 5 minutes, I'll have the green light. Then at 6 minutes, the yellow or the amber. And then at 7 minutes, you'll have the red light. Okay, I don't reappear for this trick. The red light, obviously, it's up to you to decide that you need to put an end to your speech. Good luck for that. And in terms of the evaluations for tonight, all evaluations, I know we don't have grammarian and R counter, but you have 3 minutes to evaluate. So Megat's evaluating the speech. You have 3 minutes, and the only exception would be table topics evaluator, Eng Sung, and also the general evaluator. You have 4 minutes each. And so in terms of those times, when you have 1 minute left, I'll have the green, and then when you have 30 seconds left, the yellow, and then the red, basically no times left. My second role for tonight is also to provide a tip. The tip for this evening is something that I remember what Ted said in our previous week is take your time, keep calm and breathe, particularly with the table topics tonight. We have a lengthy table topic, about 20 minutes. So when you get your topic, my advice is to just take your time, breathe, don't rush into the topic. You have at least, I remember Ted said correctly, at least 30 seconds to mull about the topic or to think about it before you speak. Because remember, as soon as you speak, my timer will start. So my advice is when you get the table topic, think about it, take your time, and then begin. Thank you, Timmy. I will see you later in the evening.
Thank you very much, Charles, especially for your tip. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, especially members, when you are doing the table topic contest, there will be a buffer time around 30 seconds for you to think and ponder about the table topic question before the timer start timing. Nice tip. For our final role player, it will be the general evaluator, the one who will be overseeing the general setting of tonight's meeting. Can we invite Effective Coaching Level 1, Lawrence Powell, to introduce his role to us?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and beloved guests. The purpose of the general evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I will take notes on everything that happens and what doesn't really happen. For example, were the guests welcome and greeted upon being admitted to this meeting room? Were the role players introduced properly? I will also observe each participant on the meeting program and look for good examples of preparation, delivery, and performance of duties. Last but not least, I'll be the one to facilitate the third segment of the meeting, which is the evaluation session. I really look forward to a fruitful and educational learning experience with you all. Now, back to you, Toastmasters of the evening.
Just hand. Thank you, Lawrence, for your introduction as the general evaluator. Now, let me share my screen to show you the agenda for tonight's meeting. Can you see my screen? Okay, so tonight we're going to have the table topic for 20 minutes, and then followed by the prepared speech, which only be delivered by one person, Adib, who will be doing his L1P2A, and then we're going to have a break for 5 minutes, and then an evaluation for 3 minutes. And then after the evaluation session ends, we'll be moving towards the extra general meeting. I hope that clears the agenda for tonight's meeting. Now, for my thought of the day. Climb mountains, not so the world can see you, but so you can see the world. So over the past few weeks, it has been very tough for me. Sometimes life can be tough. The things that we need to do and the things that we have to do at times can be mentally and physically draining. To the point, sometimes I myself ponder, why do I even bother? Why do I even bother doing this and that? It's not like the world cares so much about that we were trying to achieve. It's not going to acknowledge anything and all of our achievements or inachievements. At least that's how I thought. Whether I can or cannot, the world simply don't care. The world can keep moving forward, leaving me behind if I decide to stay stagnant in my life. But the deeper that we ponder about all of these challenges that life throws at you, and the fact that we need to overcome all of this, sometimes it's not about showing the world so it can see how much that we are capable of. It's about ourselves. It's about our own growth. All of this that we are doing right now is for us to expand our mind, becoming more capable to handle these challenges, which may transform us to become a matured version of ourselves, earning more experience and skills so that we can navigate through this world better in our life. So that we can see the world through the eye of a wiser version of ourselves. I hope that makes sense. I keep on rambling, but moving on. Let us move on to the next session, which is the table topic session hosted by Toastmaster Iqbal Omar. Are you ready, Iqbal? Toastmaster Iqbal Omar is a table topic session.
Iqbal, you're still on mute.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So today I'm back here with the table topic session. Sorry about my camera. I don't know what's wrong with this laptop camera. I remember the first few sessions when we have Zoom, it was okay. I figured it out. Okay, so back to today's table topic session. So just to remind you, each speaker will be given 1 to 2 minutes to discuss a given table topic. Okay, before we start, allow me to express the relevance of the theme for tonight, which is family is a gift. I came up with this theme when the fact that lately I've received text from MOH emphasizing health and family is the utmost asset one can get. I believe some of you have encountered that text, right? And even you can hear it from the radio. Okay, so hence the topics will touch on family values, moments with your family, and so on. Without further ado, let's get started with our first speaker, which volunteered himself. Okay, Toastmaster Adlan Murshid, are you ready for your table topic?
Yes, I am. Could someone
Okay.
from host or co-host help spotlight myself? I can't do it to myself. Yay, all right, thank you.
Hello, Adlan.
Hello.
Adlan, here's your table topics. Share one impactful advice you ever gave to your siblings. Okay, knowing you are the eldest, right? And from big family, I know. So share one impactful advice you ever gave to your siblings. Everyone? Yeah, Adlan Murshid.
Good evening, everyone. As Iqbal had introduced me, I am the eldest of my siblings. And there is a lot of advices I gave them, mostly about financials. However, the advice that stuck out to me at the moment is the advice that I pass on to them, which I got from Raven Simone from That's So Raven. The advice goes something like this: say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. Which means that you should always speak out your mind, say what you mean. You have to be clear with what you wanted. You have to be clear with what you communicate to other people. That's why I'm here, so that I can articulate myself better to deliver the message across better as well. So that's say what you mean. And then the second one, mean what you say. Mean what you say means that once you say it, do not backtrack. You have to stick with what you said. Say it with conviction. So let's say if I said I like pizza and then someone offered me pizza, don't take it back. Do not start, yeah, sorry, I do not like pizza. That's giving mixed messages. All right, so yes, say what you mean what you say. And then the last one is don't say it mean. This particular hold true, for example, like for evaluations, for giving feedbacks. Don't say it means that you say it in a positive manner, in a constructive manner. so that that person could receive it with an open heart. And that is the advice that I've given my siblings, and I'm happy to report that 2 out of 3 of them followed my advice. Thank you, everyone. That's it from me.
Oh, thank you, Adlan. I will take your advice. I'll be more decisive in future as well. Not only your siblings, huh? Okay, so everyone, moving on to the next, I would like to pick a guest, maybe from Louis Chu.
Okay, sure.
All right, so here is your question, Louis. Discuss a good trait of yours that you believe had been shaped by your parents' upbringing. Discuss a good trait of yours that you believe had been shaped by your parents' upbringing. Everyone, Louis.
Okay. Good evening, Toastmaster and friends. I believe everyone here has that thing that they always say, this is from my parents. I got this from my parents. So I believe the thing that I really got from my parents is the value of consistency. Why would I say so? My parents are actually built a company from the ground up 40 years ago in 1980s. And they started the company all the way till now, 40 years, without changing a career or trying to build another business. They just focus on one thing and one thing only. So for me, I believe I have that trait as well. I remember back in 2019, October, I joined Toastmaster Club and I chose my hometown club, Kidon Toastmaster Club. And I stuck in there, even through up and down. And slowly, I developed myself. And at 2020, when the whole world sort of go into a meltdown, into a pandemic, I found the opportunity to connect with other Toastmaster Club in the whole world through Zoom. And I stuck in it. I consistently upgrade myself to use Zoom, to know how to do all the role players in Zoom. And now I believe I'm quite good at it. So this is not because I'm talented or because I'm a genius. It's because I consistently put in the effort and build out my skills. So Toastmaster and friends, one thing that I can give you is be consistent, because everyone can. So be consistent and you get what you want. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Luis. Wow, what a good advice, being consistent. Okay, so right, we move on to the next speaker. Okay, I would like to pick maybe so Akila.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Akila, so here's your question. Okay, which one do you prefer? First day of Eid Mubarak with your family, or on New Year's Eve countdown with your family? Okay, let me repeat one time. So which one do you prefer? First day of Eid Mubarak with your family, or New Year's Eve countdown with your family? Everyone, Tia Makila Shafika.
Thank you, Iqbal, for your questions. Which one do I prefer? First day of Eid Mubarak or the New Year countdown? in my family, we don't really celebrate New Year's Eve as most people do. So for me, I will go with the first day of Eid Mubarak. There's a lot of tradition to go along with Eid or Ideal Fitri, even in the midst of preparing Ideal Fitri, preparing the house for guests, preparing to visit families elsewhere. I enjoyed it, even though it's a little bit chaos in my home. I especially enjoy when we prepare our biscuits and treats for our guests to come. That's one of the things that we miss the most when we finally are able to open our house to guests. So it was really a good and memorable experience for myself, and also something that the rest of my family have been looking forward to. In addition to that, it brings us closer, like even though we are all occupied with our works and everything, at the night of the Eid Mubarak, we always come together and do all the things together. And with that, back to you. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. So that's very detail of so typical like in Malay celebrating at Mubarak. So I miss all those moments actually. I think we miss out like 2 years of at Mubarak, like how we used to do 2 years ago before the pandemic. Yeah. Okay, everyone. So next, can I have Bhuvi? So Bhuvi, I heard.
Hello.
Recall you can. Yeah. Bhuvi.
Hello everyone. Sorry, my camera is for some reason broken, so I can just talk.
That is okay. Okay. Hello, Bhuvi. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine. How are you? Sorry,
okay.
I was really late for
yeah.
the meeting. I was expecting
that
to come
is
on time.
Okay. Better late than never. Better late than never. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here is your table topic question. All right.
Okay.
So, what is one of your dead pet peeves? You found it funny and you embrace it. What is one of your dead pet peeves? You found it funny and you embrace it. Everyone, Bhuvi.
What is my habit which I find it funny, but I embrace it? Am I right?
What is one your father's pet peeves? Yeah, your dad's pet peeves. You found it funny and you embrace it.
Okay. Okay. This question has really made me nostalgic. I miss my parents so much. It's been 2 years that I haven't seen them. I really miss him. And the most irritating thing that he does is waking up all of us early in the morning by 4:30. He has this military rule that we have to follow, all disciplinary things that we have to follow just to impress him. And ever since I have realized this, it is an irritating thing because early morning 4:30, what am I supposed to do? But then, as now I am a parent, I am a mother of 2 kids. I have realized that that was irritating for me when I was young because I didn't know the importance of value of getting up early in the morning. So now as a parent, I follow the same thing. I have accepted what my father was teaching me all the time, and now being in his shoes, I have realized the importance of waking up, getting up on time, and I'm telling my kids, and now they think that this is the most irritating habit of waking up early in the morning. But I give them all the importance of waking up in the morning and how you will have all the things sorted out early morning, and it will help you to process everything smoothly. and you will be well prepared for the day. So I think waking up was the irritating part that my father had. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Bhuvi, for your input. Yeah. So, all right. So waking up at 4:30. Wow, that's so early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
May I know timer? Do we still have time, Charles?
Yes, we do. We can
So,
two more.
okay. All right. So I would like to pick. So how about guess? Are you Mumin? Would you like to try table topic here? So
I'm sorry, I'm here. I just wanted to observe what you guys are doing, but I don't think I'm ready for a topic yet.
okay, sure, no pressure. Any volunteer? Any volunteer? So how about you, Ruben? Would you like to attempt a table topic?
Hi, Mystery Man. Yeah, sure, no problem. Let's go for it.
Okay. Okay, Ruben, actually, the next question is quite similar to Bhuvi's. So the question is, what is one of your mother's pet peeves? You found it funny and you embrace it. Okay, so what is one of your mother's pet peeves? You found it funny and you embrace it.
So last Monday, my mom came home and she showed me her Brew Health app. And she asked me, why is it red? I said, I don't know. But I filled in a few more things that the Brew Health app said that I should fill in. I put in my name, my wife's name, my aunt's name, and all of a sudden, all of us were red. Then we reported it to MOH, we made an appeal and we tried to do many things. And during that time, I swear I saw my mother move from denial to anger within 5 minutes. But that's not really where I'm going with this. But we've been at home together for a while now. Now, before I tell you the story, you have to remember that my mom has been a working woman since I was born. There hasn't been a single day where she wasn't working. She never took a break. She was always working. So this time, she's stuck at home with us for the past 1 week. And the cars have never been cleaner. The garage was sprayed down, rewashed many times. I went to check the mango tree. The mango tree now is botak because there's no leaves left. They were going to start open burning before I stopped them. So here's the thing about my mom, that I think she's a lot more like me than I've never really considered. We are people that really cannot sit still. And if you tell us to sit at home and relax, then we'll be relaxed by doing things. Because the idea of sitting and just doing nothing is actually quite torturous. It's her pet peeve. It's mine too. I don't know if I'm embarrassed of it. But if anything, it's really productive. The house is in tip-top condition. So back to you, Iqbal.
Thank you, Ruben. So okay, timer. Do we still have time?
I think that's about it. Considering we're going to go into speeches next.
All right. Okay. Right. So that concludes everything. But before I pass the stage back to the TME, I would like to have topic speaker. Okay. Here the recap. First speaker, Adlan. So about the financial advice to siblings. Okay. So the second one is Louis, okay, about the consistency of his parents, so doing business to make sure it is sustainable up to 40 years. Okay, so the next one, Akila, who prefers Eid Mubarak than New Year's Eve. And the next one was Buvi, so whose dad who used to wake her up as early as 4:30. And the next one, Ruben, with his mother who cannot sit still, so very active, very workaholic. Okay, so everyone, please cast your vote. Okay, and then back to you, TME, Shahnur.
Thank you very much, Mr. Iman Iqbal, for your hosting of the table topic. Okay, everyone, please cast the best table topic speaker to our table topic master, Iqbal. Now, we shall move forward to the prepared speech session. Let me share the slide first. Okay, so now we're going to have a speech from our newest member, Adib Talib. He will be attempting his L1P2A evaluation and feedback. For your information, this is the second speech that every Toastmaster will be attempting in their Toastmaster journey. Before we invite him to the stage, let us invite his evaluator, Effective Coaching Level 3, Megat Arif, to explain the detail of this project. Everyone, warm applause to Megat Arif.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. So, Adib will be attempting his level 1 part 2 speech. The purpose of this project is for members to present a speech on any topic, receive feedbacks, and apply the feedback to a second speech. As his evaluator tonight, there will be two parts for my evaluation report later. The first part is I will be highlighting which aspect of his speech did well. And the second part of my report later, I will touch on which aspect of his speech that needs improvement. And I will give recommendation for him to incorporate my recommendation to a second speech. With that being said, good luck and all the best, Adib.
Thank you very much, Magat, for introducing Adib's speech project to us. And yes, for the benefit of the guests, Adib will be attempting another speech and will be re-evaluated again by Magat Arif. Now, before we invite Adib to the stage, I will be introducing to you his speech project. His speech title is Stereotypes We All Have. So the synopsis for his project is, let me get my script first. The synopsis for his speech is that he will be sharing with us his traveling experience and will be contrasting the expectation and the reality that he has throughout his traveling experience. Now, everyone, can we all invite Toastmaster Adib Talib? Stereotypes we all have, Toastmaster Adib Talib.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Let's relax for a bit tonight and let us think about traveling, since we are still in pandemic season in Brunei. We always stereotype anything or anyone. Stereotype means widely held view and oversimplified image to have a general view of something. So in the next 5 minutes or more, I will tell you why we should not stereotype countries until you actually visited them. I will try to cover this in 3 different examples. Example number 1. I was in Paris back in 2013. I was visiting Paris for the first time. I pictured Paris as a city of romance, a beautiful city. Everywhere you go, the backdrop is always the Eiffel Tower, a world monument highlighting the city of Paris. You just open your hotel curtain and there it was, Eiffel Tower. You go to the streets, you see or smell croissants everywhere. Pleasant view here and there. Last but not least, street artists, the one with the berry hat, able to draw you and bring back as souvenir. Pictured a nice, a holiday well spent. Let me tell you, when I was actually there, I hardly see the Eiffel Tower. It was blocked by many heights of building nearby. I cannot see the tower from my hotel. What a clever idea. Of course, you have to pay a lot, to just stay, to have the backdrop of the Eiffel Tower, of course. Well, that is not the only disappointing experience I had while in Paris. Some of the public areas, some of the public places, also kind of smelly. I mean, I would expect a city of romance, would smell roses everywhere. But the subway is filled with homeless people who do their thing, just right there. It was worse than my high school toilet, to be honest. Of course, this is back in 2013. So hopefully by now, Paris will change now. Example number 2. The following year, in 2014, I went backpacking again. But this time, my trails led me to the land of Netherlands. Netherlands is one of the top 10 countries with the highest standard of living. I expect men and women on the streets everywhere wearing suits, here and there, women, men, wearing suits everywhere. And of course, I expect one older lady, older woman, wearing a Dutch cap and a skirt, I mean, Dutch lady, So, I mean, it should come from there, right? So I thought the Netherlands would have all this, tall skyscraper, business tower here and there, like the image of London, modern but yet rich of history. Let me tell you, when I arrived there, I think I could count with my fingers how many actual buildings were higher than 10th floor. And if there was, it's usually apartments. And no surprises there. Everyone not wearing suits, they're wearing jackets and normal clothing, because as it turns out, it was raining and cold. I mean, they're also normal human beings. It's just, they're going to wear jackets. And the most disappointing revelation to me when I was in Netherlands, I thought at night in the Netherlands would be like the street of London. Everywhere gets alive, with music, escaping from the bar, and the club. I would see, people walking around, to meet their friends, along there. To my discovery, most shops in Netherlands close early, and sometimes before 6 o'clock. At night, it was dead quiet with empty streets. It's really hard to find shops that are still open. Even, you just want to buy some convenience item. To me, it feels like back in Brunei. But even Brunei shops open till 9 p.m., right? Example number 3. For my last example, take back while I was in the UK from 2012 to 2015. For someone who hasn't traveled to the UK before, I pictured the UK to be snowing all year round. You know, everyone over there is friendly, like the English film. You know, everyone on the street like, top of the morning, sir, and the woman like, how are you today, love? As as fun as it was, breathing the smoke, coming out from your mouth, there is actually no snow. Of course, it won't snow back in September. And it turns out it's actually rare to see snow in some part of the UK. And the people there were not as quite friendly as I thought. I was being shouted at for no reason, at the street, on the street, and slurred at because of my broken English. Apparently, due to the huge inflow of immigrants, really changed the British. And of course, people would not tend to be friendly to strangers they met in few minutes. That is also common sense. Me and my small positive world. So in conclusion, with the Internet of Things nowadays, it's easier to just search information online, pictures, videos, blogs, that feed our mind every day, like the story of Paris and Eiffel Tower, Netherlands and Dutch, and the Dutch lady and UK in the snow. It is rare for us to just try, to just go and try it nowadays. I wish I could do that for the next time I travel, so I could enjoy more with fewer expectation in mind. So guys and ladies, don't stereotype anyone before you actually know them or experience them. With that, back to you, Shannon.
Thank you very much, Adip, for sharing your wonderful traveling experience to all of us here. Yes, it's true. If you want to understand a country better, we should visit the country and try to engage with the locals so we can understand the culture better and the people better. I'm really envious that you have visited so much of this country. As for me, I only visited Malaysia and Indonesia for the past 2 years, 3 years ago. All right, next, we're going to have our break, which will be until 8:25 before we move on to the evaluation session. So everyone, we're having a break right now. Great job, Adip, the way you share your story. Very immersive.
Thank you. It was so many things. In the end, I made I made a good, a good structure. Thanks to my mentor also. Yeah.
It's quite hard to share a story.
Hopefully hearing. Okay.
To share a story about 3 visits in 3 countries within 5 to 7 minutes is quite difficult. I don't know how you managed to do that. Amazing.
Correct.
One,
because
we
to me it's hard to find speech because because they are.
Vienna, how do you spell that? How do you spell that? Humorous?
Humor.
As in humor?
Yes, but it's Humorous. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, everyone, break time is over.
Channel, we couldn't really hear you.
A lesson on how to deliver a humorous speech during speeches as well.
So unable to hear.
Channel, I think your internet connection is a bit wonky.
Ashanor is not in at the moment. He's out.
Okay, maybe I can take over the control of the meeting now since it's the evaluation session now. Okay, the first evaluator that I would like to call upon is a comical member of this club. And she is our table topics evaluator tonight. Let us welcome Toastmaster Eng Song.
Good evening again, everyone. So before I would deliver my report, I would like to first reiterate what are the things that I want to focus on in this evaluation. So the criteria itself is the structure. How would I look at it is whether it is easy to follow and whether there is a clear message. So first of all, our first table topic speaker was Adlan, who shared one impactful advice to his siblings. So for his structure itself, it was very clear because Adlan, you mentioned about the advice that you shared with your siblings at the beginning, which is say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean. And afterwards you break it down and even gave examples of each phrases, which was really good. And you ended it with a conclusion saying that 2 of 3 siblings followed it as well. My suggestion for you is that instead of giving each example for each of the phrases, it might be even more impactful if you could give one example of what any of your siblings have benefited from the quote itself. But overall, it is a very good quote that you shared. Next speaker is Louis, who shared on the good trait that he has inherited from his parents is the value of consistency. So Louis, when I really like how you make this speech like a motivating sales speech, it feels like after you end it, I feel very motivated as well. And you also shared an example of the value of consistency through your parents opening a company and also how you apply it in your Toastmaster journey as well. My suggestion for you is that it would be if there is a transition between your statement and your example of your family building a company, because at first you mentioned that value of consistency, right? Then you move into how your family built a company from the start. If there was a transition in between whereby you say, what is the value of consistency to you? Like, what is consistency to you? It might be a better flow, in my opinion. Yes, that's it from me. I think overall it's a very good speech. Next, we have Akila, who mentioned about preferring the first day of Eid Mubarak over the New Year's Eve. Akila, I really like how you answer the question directly with saying that you prefer first Eid Mubarak and then going into the point of, because we don't celebrate New Year's Eve, and then a few examples supporting your statement. And you ended it with a very, very touching. I think for me, it's very touching because you mentioned although you guys are occupied, but in the end, what matters is that you guys come back together to do all the things. I think it will be even more impactful if you can remind the audience again on what is the question itself, saying that this is the reason why you choose first Eid Mubarak over the other event itself. Overall, good job, Akila. Now moving on to Bhuvi. So Bhuvi shared with us her dad's pet peeve, which is waking up early in the morning. I really like how you shared your vulnerability in the beginning by saying that how you miss your family, and I believe a lot of us can relate to it as well. And it's very clear you mentioned why, what your father did, and how you didn't see the value. Slowly you started seeing the value of it, and now that it's your kids' turn to dislike this pet peeve itself. My point of suggestion for you would be, if you can evaluate more on why it is a pet peeve that you can bear, that you can understand, that it will be even more impactful. Yeah, overall very good speech as well. For the last speaker, Ruben, I think we have always enjoyed your speech because you always bring a humor and you always bring laughs whenever you talk. And it is also the same for this time. I like how you started off with a storyline, with a hook, with a storyline of your mother, and moving on, slowly building the momentum to review the answer, the statement whereby the answer is you cannot sit still. You and your mother both cannot sit still. As an audience, I have a question. The message was very clear, but I had one question in mind, which was, oh, so what does the first example have to do with the answer you have? Because you mentioned that your mother had a red coat in the blue health. So I was like, oh, so how is it related to the cannot sit still statement? So I would like to have an answer on that. Yeah, for as an audience. So overall, good job, everyone. That's all from my side. And back to you, General Evaluator Lawrence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Song. Wow, very detailed evaluation. I will provide my feedback later on. Moving on, may I please invite the table topics master to announce the result of the table topic session. May I please invite the table topic master, Toastmaster Iqbal.
Hi everyone. So, okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Good.
we all can hear you.
Okay. All right, everyone. So, the winner for tonight is the son of a loving mother who can be in denial to anger, can penetrate from denial to anger within 5 minutes and cannot sit still, and used to be a workaholic. Congratulations, Ruben. You won the best table topic speaker tonight. And just everyone, congrats. Okay, back to you, GE Lawrence.
Second acceptance speech.
Yeah, may I please invite Ruben to deliver an acceptance speech?
Thank you everyone for voting for me. Eng Song, sorry, next time I'll try and explain it better, but it's a little bit difficult because she's right outside. She might hear me. Back to you, GE.
Thank you so much, Ruben. Now, let us hear from our prepared speech evaluator. Let's hear from him about how our speaker Adib did in his speech today. Let us welcome Effective Coaching Level 2, Megat Arif.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm audible, right? All right. First of all, thank you so much, Adib, for bringing us through that journey. I believe that as someone myself who haven't traveled a lot, especially to Paris, Netherlands, and UK, I do have that stereotyping. I thought Paris was very romance, but thank you for killing that dream of mine. But okay, continuing with your evaluation for tonight. First part is I want to highlight which aspect of your speech that you did really well. For me, your structure was really good. I believe that you are the storyteller type. You are very descriptive. And the first part of your speech, you told us what are we expecting in your speech. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 examples of why stereotyping countries is something that we should not do. And then you carry on the first example, Paris. You give an example of, okay, we thought going to Paris, I'm going to see Eiffel Tower, smell of croissants everywhere. It's what you expect. But in reality, it's not. You pointed out some public places was smelly, the subway was filled with homeless people, and then you carry on with the second example, Netherlands. What you expect, because you know that there are the top 10 countries in terms of standard of living. You expect to have high skyscrapers, and I like this example the most, where you expect people to walk with these suits all the time. When in actual fact, it's not. And your third example again, where I say you're really descriptive, is in the UK example from 2012 to 2015. You expect everyone to be friendly. Top of the morning, sir, to you. A lovely to you, sir. But no, it's not something that happened to you in reality. So that is really, really good. I love your structure. Stick to that. You are a good storyteller. Stick to that. And you are, I can say you are a bit humorous in your speech. Stick to that as well. That is your strength. You're a good storyteller, very descriptive, and your humor was really on point. Now, something that I would recommend you to incorporate in your second speech is, throughout your speech, there was a lot of, you know, you know, you know, you know, you know. I think if you compile all that, it will sum up into 1 minute plus. Okay, almost 2 minutes. So my second recommendation for you is time management. I believe that you went over time, you went over around 8 minutes plus. So if you can lessen that, maybe structure a bit of your speech, try to highlight more and lessen of that, I believe that you can finish your speech within 5 to 7 minutes. Lessen the part, which is your time management, but stick on your strength, which is you're a good storyteller, descriptive, very descriptive, and you are very funny guy, a funny speech. I'm trying to say, stick to that. My recommendation is lessen with the with your time management of your speech. This is something that you can incorporate your second speech. I'll talk to you with this again later, more about that. And that is my evaluation for tonight. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Megat, for your report. Now let us move on to the last role player for tonight's meeting. He's a timer. Can we hear from our timer, Toastmaster Charles? Over to you, Charles.
Sure, thank you, Lawrence. The meeting began promptly, 7:30. Well done to those who introduced their roles. We began the table topics at 7:45, so all the role players' introduction and the word of the day only took about 15 minutes. So very good there. We then had the table topic session, which was also on time. In terms of the table topics, Adlan, your time was 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Lewis, 2 minutes, 14 seconds. Akila, 1 minute, 32. Bavi, 1 minute, 40. And Ruben, 1 minute, 51. So technically everyone was within time, because you have 2 minutes and then a 30-second leeway. We began the prepared speeches a little bit early at about 8:08, which was fine. Adib, for your prepared speech, 8 minutes 29. So from the advice from Megat in terms of your time, it's something to consider. And then we went to the evaluations. We had our break, started evaluations at 8:25. Engsung, evaluation took 5 minutes 34. Just some advice, Engsung, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 role players, and you gave them each a minute. So you'd obviously have over 5 minutes. So you need to find a way to condense and maybe summarize some of the points to get within the 4 minutes. Megat, for you, you took 3 minutes, 21 seconds. So within time, just in terms of that, very nice. In terms of your introduction was under a minute. You then spoke about, and the advice you would give, which was from 2 minutes, just under a minute as well. And then it's just before the 3 minute mark, you went into your summary. So very good timing of your phases. And then I think the last person on the agenda is me. I have taken 1 minute 54. And those are your times. Do you think I've left anyone out?
Nope. Okay. All right. Thank you, Charles, for your timer's report. All right, now everybody, I'm going to deliver my report. But before that, I would like to apologize to Megat because just now when I introduced him, I was wrong with his Toastmaster title. He should be effective coaching level 3 now. My apologies to you, to everybody. Now, before I start giving my report, I would like to just give you a brief overview of how I'm going to deliver my report. First of all, I will begin to deliver my report by sharing my ideas and feedback on Table Topic Master, Table Topics Evaluator, as well as the Speech Evaluator. After the first segment, I'll be giving feedback on Sergeant at Arms, Zoom Master, Toastmaster of the evening, timer and tip, and the overall setting of this meeting. Now, without further ado, let's look at the comments or feedback that I would like to provide for our Table Topics Master. Our Table Topic Master tonight is Iqbal. Okay, prior to this meeting, I actually advised him to be more confident when hosting the session, because when I was the general evaluator last time in July, he was the Table Topics Master as well. And I can notice that there's some improvement in his performance this time. However, I would just like to give you some recommendations. First of all, perhaps you can practice your intonation, because just now when you ask questions or when you invited the speakers, you sounded a bit monotonous. So perhaps you can add in the intonation to your speech. That will be much more interesting and exciting. Next, perhaps you can try to type the questions in the meeting chat, because some of the questions are actually quite challenging. For example, you use the word pet peeve. Okay, this might be a bit unfamiliar to some of the meeting attendees. Perhaps you can actually provide a simple explanation of what pet peeve is. Basically, it means something that's really annoying to you. Okay, next, moving on, I would like to give some comment, but well done, Iqbal. I hope you will just keep up with your good performance, and I look forward to your better performance in the future. Moving on, I would like to give some feedback to our Table Topics Evaluator, Song. Song, I really like your report because you mentioned at the beginning of your report, you reiterated the criterion that you use to evaluate each table topic speakers, which is about the structure of the speech. And you also recap some of the content from time to time. Okay, the recommendation that I would like to give to you are as follows. The first one is to cut down the use of so in your report, because you keep using the word so in your speech. It kind of impedes your fluency. It kind of distracts my attention from listening to the main points of your report. Next, a very common point that you can find in all the table topic speaker is the use of example. This is a very good technique to use when delivering a table topics speech, an impromptu speech. Perhaps you can highlight this. Why do we need to include an example in our speech? Why is it for? Perhaps it's to support our argument. Okay, it helps us to be more convincing. So when you share the benefit, people may be more interested in trying to do so in the future. Overall, very well done. Thank you, Song, for your report. Next, speech evaluator, Megat. Megat, you also have very, very clear criteria when it comes to evaluating a prepared speaker. You mentioned that you would like to give commendation and recommendation. You commended Adib on his structure. He's a very good storyteller. This is very clear. You also advise him to cut down on the use of you know. Okay, I find it very, very meticulous of you when it comes to giving recommendation. Okay, you also advise him to pay attention to the time management. However, perhaps for the recommendation part, I have a few suggestions. First of all, what is the takeaway message in Adib's speech? To me, it's a bit unclear because he ended his speech a bit too abruptly. So you can mention this to him later when you go through your evaluation of the meeting. Secondly, the contrast between the expectation and reality could be made more emotional and personal, sorry, personal. Okay, and what kind of words or transitions can we use to replace, what kind of things can we use? Perhaps we can give him some suggestions, like you can use, for example, as a transition. All right, so that's all. I like your evaluation because you give very clear rooms of improvement for Adib to work on for his second speech. Thank you so much, Megat. Now, moving on, the second part of my report. Wow, being a GE is not really easy. I have to deliver my report in a very spontaneous way, but I hope I can just get through this. Moving on, Sergeant at Arms and Zoom Master, a very well done, well executed task by our Sergeant at Arms. Presentation Mastery Level 2 Adlan. Can we please give him a wave of big jazz hands? He's the only one who is taking on 2 roles in this meeting. Thank you very much. Adlan, I noticed that you are getting more and more fluent this time, and you give very timely instructions in the meeting chat as well. Okay, so far I don't have any recommendation for you. I just hope that you can just keep up with your performance. Thank you so much, Adlan. Next, Toastmaster of the evening. Wow. What a rare opportunity for me to evaluate our president. President, what I really like about your Toastmaster role, Toastmaster of the evening role today is the well-chosen thought of the day. I personally feel that it's something that is very personal. It's something that we all can relate to. It's just that when you elaborate, when you talk more about the thought of the day, I just hope that you can slow down a bit, and then you can work on your pauses, when to pause, so that the message can be carried across, so that the message will be well received by the audience. And perhaps you can talk to the camera or talk to the audience. Okay, show some audience awareness as well while you share the thought of the day. That way, you will be much more impactful. Okay, so well done, Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you, Shano. Okay, penultimate, timer and tip. Timer, I really like your tip for tonight's meeting. Take your time, keep calm and breathe. I actually tried to do this before I started delivering my report, but from time to time, I think I failed to do so because I wasn't calm. I'm actually quite nervous, and you can sense that because I'm talking faster and faster, but it's okay. We are all here to learn, and I noticed that you also put up the time remaining during the break as well. Very well done. I think you learned from the timer from the previous meeting, who is Akila. All right, thank you so much. Keep up with your good performance. Last but not least, the general setting of the meeting. What I like about today's meeting is that we started on time, because last week we didn't manage to start on time, but today we managed to start on time. However, due to the poor internet connection, maybe we cannot hear from one another very clearly. Is something that is really out of our control. But I personally enjoy today's meeting because I get to hear from a lot of eloquent speakers to speak on unprepared topics, and I love Adib's speech as well. So basically, this is all for my general evaluator report. I really hope I can do better in the next time. I have tried to provide the feedback to the best of my ability. I hope you all had somehow benefited from this evaluation session. And I look forward to everyone's better performance in the future. All right, thank you everyone. I will now like to pass the control of the meeting to our Toastmaster of the evening. Persuasive Influence Level 4, Strategic Relationships Level 1, Shano Nizam.
Thank you, Lawrence Howe, for hosting the general evaluation session. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our usual meeting, and And I would like to express my gratitude and thanks to all my role players and also speakers for volunteering to help to run this meeting on time. Now, let's move on to the next agenda for tonight's meeting, which is the extraordinary general meeting. Thank you, Ruben, for pointing that out. So let me bring up the agenda first. Just to tell everyone, I'm having a very spotty internet tonight. So if I drop out, maybe Lawrence can help continue the facilitate the meeting until I join it back again. Okay, for the extraordinary meeting, these are the 4 role players. We have the chairman, which is me, the parliamentarian Hilman Omar, the secretary Lawrence Pao, and the timer Charles Buck. So let me read this first. Welcome to the extraordinary general meeting of Brunei Speakers Club. This meeting is important as it will determine the next Vice President of Education for the term 2021 and 2022 to replace the previous VPE. The Executive Committee will set the stage for the club's success as we continue to train and develop effective communicators and leaders in a safe learning environment. As such, your full participation is crucial as you all have a say in determining our club's future. As per Article 5, Section 1 of the Constitution, a majority of the active individual membership must be present at the general meeting for its proceeding to be valid and to constitute a quorum. We have 26 paid members in the club. The quorum need is 14, 13 plus 1. Tonight, we have, let me check. We have 19 members in attendance tonight, so we have met the quorum. I will share the members' name in the chat. Let me stop sharing first. So these are the members who are present at tonight's meeting. Election will be simply majority vote of the member at the extraordinary general meeting. The parliament for this meeting is Hilman Omar. Secretary will be Lawrence Pao, and if there is any voting, I will run the poll. Queries regarding the proceeding can only be met by voting of the member club. Let me explain the general proceeding of this meeting. I will be reading the job description for Vice President of Education. After that, I will open the floor for any nomination. Each nomination must be seconded. Each member who seconds the nomination will give a 2-minute speech on the qualification of the nominee after all the nominees have been identified. There will be no timing signal given, and once the member reaches 2 minutes, the timer will initiate claps. Seconding speeches will be given in alphabetical order of the candidate's last name. So based on the candidate's last name, the first one, it will be the one that starts with A, B, C, and so on. Then I will ask the nominees to stand and reply if they would accept the position if elected. Regardless of the number of candidates for the position, each nominee needs to deliver a 2-minute speech on why they should be elected if there is more than one candidate. If there is more than one candidate, the voting will take place. We will start with the position of the Vice President of Education. As the Vice President of Education, you schedule members' speeches and projects and serve as a resource for questions about education's awards, speech contests, and the mentor program. You are an important source of Toastmaster knowledge for club members, and it is your job to become familiar with all aspects of Toastmasters education program. I now open the floor to any member, to any nomination. Please unmute yourself if you would like to nominate a member for the Vice President of Education role. You may also nominate yourself.
I, Rano Iskandar, nominates Megat Arif.
Who seconds the nomination? Who seconds the nomination for Megat Arif as the Vice President of Education? Please mention your name and unmute yourself, Alan.
I, Alan Ang, second the nomination.
Are there any more nomination? Are there any more nominations? Are there any more nominations? Since there are no more nominations, may I call for a proposal to close the nomination? Please raise your hand and propose for the close of the nomination. Can the chairman propose to close the nomination?
I, Alan Ang, propose to close the nomination.
Okay, who seconds the proposal to close the nomination?
I, Amar Mirza, second the proposal to close the nomination.
Okay, now we have closed the nomination. Now I would like to ask the seconders to give their speeches on the qualification of their respective nominee. So can we have Alan Ang to give speeches of the seconded nominee? Let's go, Alan.
This is under recording, right? Forgot about this part. Should have put on my tie. Good evening, everyone. Ever since Megat have joined Brunei Speakers Club, I think he is one of those members who are very gung-ho when it comes to taking out speech slots to deliver his speeches. Not just only that, he would take up all the roles that's available, ranging from Toastmaster of the evening to table topic masters, to even fighting for slots to evaluate. If there's anything that we would be able to describe Megat, it would be a very passionate Toastmasters. I think he's shown hunger for improvement, and he will always be willing to lend a hand out, especially when it comes to public speaking as well. That's where his passion lies. And I think as a Vice President of Education, this passion is very crucial for the success of the club. While the president is occupied with setting the visions and steering the ship, it is important for the Vice President of Education to take care of the members' need, reach out to them, find out what they want to achieve when they join Toastmasters. Not just only that, by guiding them to the right mentor so that they will be able to help them with their growth and so that they're able to get the best experience out of Toastmasters. And I see Megat being able to fill up this role, not just only fulfilling the requirement, but excelling at this role as well. He's very passionate, he is very gung-ho, and he loves helping people when it comes to improving public speaking skill. So that's the reason why I seconded the nominations for Megat to run for the Vice President of Education. And I would be standing behind this nominations to provide him with the best support. So with that, thank you very much, and over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much for your seconding speech, Alan Ang. Now I would like all the nominees to stand up virtually. Megat Arif, do you agree to stand for election? You should say I agree or I respectfully decline.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you. As we have one nominee, each candidate shall be given 2 minutes to speak on their behalf. We will first start with Megat Arif to deliver his speech, campaign speech.
Hi, good evening, fellow BSC members. I would like to follow through what Alan mentioned just now. And I would also like to read our Toastmasters mission to provide a supportive and positive learning experience. I have nothing to say at the moment about my vision of taking this role, but I want to share something that I will do as your VPE. Do expect me to text you up, to talk to you, not asking for you to deliver speeches at the moment, but something that I want to do is I want to talk to each and every one of the BSC members right now and ask you, what do you want to improve here? And how do you expect us, the EXCO, to help you? And this is something, again, this is something that I want to do to each and every one of the BSC members, and let us help you to provide you a supportive and positive learning experience so that you, as the BSC members, can improve more using this platform. And with that, thank you so much. Back to Shannon.
Thank you very much, Megat. As we have only one nominee, we will now ask the club secretary to cast a secret ballot with Megat's name to me. You may just DM me for Megat's name for formal purposes. I am pleased to announce the Vice President of Education for the term 2021-2022 is Megat Arif. Congratulations to the new Vice President of Education for the term 2021-2022, who will be taking office starting tomorrow, 13 October. And now I call this extraordinary general meeting adjourned. Now, before I do my closing remarks, can we have guest comments first? Let me close my... Do we have any guests who would like to give some comments about our meetings? Is Dr. Ayu here? Another guest, I would like to invite Louis Xu, if you would like to share your comment. It's been so long since you attend to Brunei Speakers Club.
Yep. Thank you, President Shano. Like to see that you're doing very well. And yeah, pandemic for me is a good thing, so I can go to Brunei virtually. so yeah. So actually, I just want to say, I learned all the things about online Zoom Toastmaster from Brunei Speaker Club. Brunei Speaker Club was the first one that I joined when the pandemic started in 2020. So all the homework I took from Brunei Speaker Club, now I'm applying to my own club and applying to all the clubs that I've been to. So thank you very much, Brunei Speaker Club, for all the things you taught me. Thank you. Thank you, Shana.
Thank you very much, Louis, for information of all the audience. I think me and Louis, we both started joining Toastmasters time, and lo and behold, 2 years later, we both become president. So we're next. Can we invite another guest from Kingside Toastmaster? Jimmy, would you like to share us your comment?
Yeah, sorry, it just took me a while to turn on the video. Yeah, this is actually I felt that I learned so much every time I come to your club. This is actually the first time I experienced extraordinary meeting. yeah, I'm just amazed. I didn't realize that there's so many different ways to carry out the meetings, and yeah, really enjoy this session. Thank you for having.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. I hope you find that general meeting extraordinary. You know, you got just for everyone's information. Before the meeting start, Jimmy give us proposal to have a joint meeting to have on 26 October for us to practice our table topic before our contest start. I will bring this discussion to our excos and see how can we proceed with this proposal. Next, shall we move on to members' feedback? Do we have members who would like to give their feedback for tonight's meeting? Going once, going twice.
Ying wanted to.
Hi everyone. I feel like I haven't seen you all in a long time, but it's good to know that everyone's doing fine, and I hope you all are doing fine. So this is actually my first time attending one of your virtual Zoom meets for Toastmasters, and I think it was handled quite beautifully. I really like how you guys have contingency plans. Like for example, if one of you drop out because of connectivity issue, you delegate your task to someone else. So yeah, and I also like how the texts that you guys mentioned are pasted into the chat box in case like someone missed what you said during, because of, again, due to connectivity issue, they're able to catch up through the chat. Yeah, yeah. So that's all from me. I'll definitely be implementing some of your like plans into like some of my other workshops.
Thank you very much for your feedback, Ying. It's been so long since you've been attending to our meeting as well. So I do hope that you and also other members in this tonight's meeting do attend to our club meeting often, so we get to keep in touch with each other more. Now I close the members' feedback. Shall we proceed to the any other business? Do we have any other business around the floor? I have one. Any other business? Just to inform all the members that next week on 19th of October, we won't have a meeting due to public holiday. We will be celebrating the Maulid Rasulullah on that day, so we'll not be going to have a meeting. We shall proceed our next meeting on the 26th of October. Hopefully, it will be a joint meeting with Quayside Toastmaster. Now for my closing remark, I would like to express my relief that we finally have our Vice President of Education. For the past for the past 2 weeks, me and Lawrence, we've been gung ho and planning the next meeting and also discussing on how to encourage members to participate more. And tonight, I'm really glad and happy that more than 50% of the member attended to tonight's meeting, and I really we would like to have this kind of thing happening throughout for the next meeting again. And I hope that we still continue and pushing ourselves to become a better version of ourselves. Since we have our Vice President of Education, it will be much more easier for us to manage the club and planning for the future of the club and also the education part of the member. And with that, there's no more things for me to talk. I would like to call this meeting adjourned.